You are not alone. Brought to you by NAMI Utah.
Mental health, it has been such a huge issue for so many years, but especially in this last year, I think that really everybody has started to understand it a little bit more, and that's why we were talking about it monthly here on The Place. I want to bring in Rob Westman. He is here with NAMI. Rob, thanks for being with us today.
Thanks for having me.
You know, last year we had a whole lot of nothing going on, but there was a whole lot of anxiety, wasn't there?
Yeah, there really was. And I mean, I think we all experienced it for sure.
Yeah.
And we also want to talk about when we experience anxiety, even when there isn't a pandemic going on.
Right, because it does happen all the time, and it happens at so many different levels. So let's talk about, what do anxiety disorders have in common?
Well, you know, about 40 million people around the country experience them, over 500,000 just in Utah. And really all anxieties, there's many, but all anxiety disorders share that we have this sense of kind of persistent, excessive worry and even fear in situations that aren't dangerous.
And I think that's the hardest part, is even though those situations aren't dangerous, trying to, get that person or to get them to understand in that moment, it's hard. They're in that moment and they can't really get themselves out of it a lot of times, right?
Right, exactly. It's not just a matter of, oh, it's not dangerous, okay, I'll be okay. I mean, it's, and there's genetic components, there are physical components to it. So, I mean, it's really something that we need to be aware of.
What are some of the symptoms that people experience when they are having these anxiety disorders or attacks or things like that?
Well, we mentioned the emotional symptoms, the fear, the anxiety, the worry. We mentioned those. Physically, headaches, stomach aches, fatigue, nausea. I mean, and if you think about it, that sounds like a lot of things. And so proper diagnosis is really important.
Well, and I feel like, and Rob, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but the pandemic really brought about a lot more emotions than I think all of us were expecting. But I think now, in these days too, we're talking about these things, and people that may have pushed it aside and thought, oh, I don't have that, they're going, wait a second, I do have a little bit of that, but it's something I can learn to control, or I can learn to talk about and get through it.
Yeah, and like we mentioned, I mean, the appropriate diagnosis is critical. So if I'm always worried, like always, it would be a good time to go see your physician and make sure there isn't something physically wrong, and then be evaluated by a mental health practitioner, because really we have effective treatments, but you really need to know what's happening.
Yeah, so many effective treatments out there. Let's talk about NAMI and what you guys do.
Yeah, so NAMI, National Alliance on Mental Illness, we're the Utah chapter, and we just help educate people, provide support, education, advocacy. We really want people to understand what's happening with mental health conditions, if they have questions, and then we also want to make sure that we have effective legislation that helps promote a healthy lifestyle for people.
Yes, so they can definitely go to your website and get all that information. Also, the suicide hotline, something we always like to talk and remind people that it is there for them.
Absolutely. We partner with the Suicide Prevention Lifeline, and if you're in a state of crisis, this is the place to go.
Yes, 100%. And there's so many people dealing with so many different things out there, so, be kind to one another. I think it's always, you never know what somebody's going through. So, Rob, thank you so much for coming in. It's always good to talk to you. I know that we have so much good information that we learned from you. Thank you.
Thank you.